When you were first beginning, I had so much going on. I felt like the little girl in the car that you were describing, with all of the chaos around her, thinking, I know who I am. I know the empire that I have inside of me. I feel the life of my dream, and there's so much chaos around me. And I really want to thank you, because I am feeling myself today moving up and coming more and more into alignment with my dream and more into alignment with my knowing. And
before you go further, if you don't mind, we would like to have everyone benefit from the very good words that you've offered here, because we just want to speak something that feels so obvious to us, and we want you to feel how obvious it doesn't or does feel to you, and then we want you to want it to be obvious to you too. And that is, it's such a simple thing. My life caused me to want this, and here I am, and all I have to do is go there. It's so simple. Well, what is over there? What's it like over there? What would it feel like over there? What does this feel like? Well, I can describe it. It feels fun. It feels fulfilling. It feels satisfying. It feels stimulating. That's all there is. It's just, here's where I want to be, and here's where I am. That's it. So what complicates it? What causes there to be more than these two vibrational points of relativity? How did it get complicated? Jerry and Esther had an interesting experience, because with this new book, the publisher of the book called them and said, you know, the first book missed the New York Times bestseller list by fewer books than you sold through your warehouse. So what do you think about sending out an email announcement, just asking people to buy the book from Amazon or from one of the distributors that is counted? And Jerry and Esther looked at each other and they said, we've never asked anybody to do anything. We've just allowed it to be. But this publisher said, oh, it'll be very beneficial, because once that happens, then you're on a different list. And then bookstores that usually don't even handle your book want it. And it just makes the distribution process simpler once you are on that list. And so Jerry and Esther said, all right. And then they sort of got caught up in the fun of it. It was fun to be number one at Amazon for a little bit. And it was fun to be, of all of the books in the world, there was a list of 150 of all books, fiction, nonfiction, hardback, softcover, all of the books. And they were 145 of all of the books in the world. And it was sort of fun watching those lists. And then Esther found herself getting up in the morning and clicking on that link to see where they were on the list. And then she started noticing when they weren't number one on the list, who was number one on the list. And then one day, Jerry said to us as they were driving, Abraham, why aren't we feeling so good? And we said, because you have left competition and the feeling of competition behind you long ago. You have established your relationship between who you are and what you want. And anything that happens around that is just fine. You've allowed law of attraction to do its work, but you haven't tried to consider your work in relationship to that work. That has not been what you've done. And so you have introduced chaos into your vibration. And as soon as they heard it, they both began to laugh, because of course that's what it was. And it isn't that they felt competitive. They are wishing everyone well who is having the experience. They are not wanting to get the number one spot and hold it for themselves. It wasn't that at all. It was the simple thing of trying to introduce into their vibration. In other words, when they consider their book, and they think about their book, and they think about how it felt for the book to flow, and they think about someone reading the book and someone benefiting from the book, everything's in perfect alignment with them. But when they think about their book in relationship to that book, and that book, and that book, and that book, now they're introducing all of that vibration into what was a clear space, and now it is no longer a clear space. That's what introduces chaos. It's putting your nose in other people's business, you see. When all you're thinking about is the relationship between where I am and where I want to be, it is such a clear distance. Everything that everyone wants, no matter what it is, you want it because you think you would feel better. And do you know what feeling better is? Feeling better is alignment. feeling better is being lined up with you, period. It isn't about anything else. It's not about somebody else doing something. It's not about somebody else thinking something. It isn't about how many books you sell or how well your music is received or how many people buy your products from your business. It isn't about anything except my energy and the relationship of my energy to my energy, over which I have absolute control. So in a day, you can think about how I want to feel and what my dream is and where I am in relationship to it. And you can talk and 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 talk with one intention, one simple intention of finding that vibe that feels good to you. Or you can watch television and you can think about what everybody else is doing, and you can watch all the other lists, and you can listen to what's happening in all the other countries. You can listen to people making decisions about things that you have no say, and you can debate over the rightness and the wrongness of their decisions. And then you can remember what your mother said about this, and you can compare your child rearing skills with your mother's child rearing skills. And then you can remember how she argued with her sister about how to raise children. And then you can think about your friend and how your friend raises her children. And then you can think about those people and those people and those people in other countries, and pretty soon you've got chaos in your vibration, and you know what? You deserve it. Where when you say, hey, I have the ability to focus on a myriad of things, and some of them feel good when I do and some of them don't. Let me see, just through trial and error, which ones feel good. Esther will lie in her bed sometimes and think about something that's going on with her mother, and she can just feel a sort of knot welling up within her because there are things that are outside of her control. And then she's got a choice. She can stay there and focus upon those things that are outside of her control, or she can focus upon something that is within her control. And the knot goes away, you see. It's just a matter of caring how you feel and then just practice thinking. Practice thinking. Practice thinking with your newfound knowledge that how I feel matters.